All right, and now it's 2026. 2025 has officially gone to a close. Actually, this is the first week of the new year. The first week of the new year has just passed. Only 51 more to go. And I've been doing some reflecting this week on the movies I watched this year. This was something that I categorized or kept a running list of compared to other years. Sorry, my cat's going to join us here. But it was something that I never really did before. I don't really know how many movies I average a year. So I was just kind of curious how many I could see. For the start of the year, I had a goal of watching a new movie every day or watching a movie every day. I end up falling off around April-ish. And then I find when I fall off something, it's really hard for me to get back on because of the dread of that kind of going back to it. This year, I've only actually seen one movie, so I am even less behind, but I'm hoping to have some days where I can watch a lot more, and or at least watch a few in a day. Where I really only had that a few times this year. But yeah, it's such a luxury to get to spend every day getting to watch a movie. I find it's really good for the soul, right? To always have something. And I always, to me, enjoyed that, especially if I had to like work the next day, and it's like I really only have this evening to myself. I'm like, let me put on something good, something that's been recommended to me for a while, and then I can kind of really sit on that with me the next day at work and reflect back on that. And I actually found that really helpful. And not just mentally, but just in terms of something that kind of kept me motivated and kind of made my days go by better. But yeah, so this was a very, very big year for me for movies I got to finally watch, movies I finally got around to. I put this into a list on Letterboxd, and so I'll just go into screen cap mode, and then we can kind of go over the different movies. I'm not going to say something big about every single one of these, because I probably really don't. Some of them I might just kind of say I watched them, and that's about it. But some of these movies made a really big impact on me, and then my next video I want to make is the top 10 movies that I watched this year for the first time that made a big impact on me. And then I'm also at the end of the month. I want to plan to the end of the month because I think there is a lot more 2025 movies I need to see, and I don't think it's really fair to kind of make a list so early. So thanks so much. Let's get into it. So I'm here on my letterbox, and yeah, so I think I got some pretty big ones, especially starting off the list is definitely part one and part two of The Godfather. I did not watch part three because I haven't really heard that much interesting stuff about it. I think it works extremely well as a two-film trilogy in a way. To me, and it's quite obvious. Ford Francis needed Coppola, I guess, why did I say Ford Francis? Coppola needed some money, essentially, and that's why he did it. So, to me, I don't really care about watching the third one. Maybe someday I'll catch to it, but I was really, really glad I got to watch Godfather and The Godfather Part 2. Obviously, two movies that were staples in cinema and cinema talk since they came out. And so, yeah, I'm really glad I watched them. I would say, for me, I don't have anything interesting to say. I would just say, yeah, they're properly rated. Would I say this is an essential watch for everyone? Maybe, but I think to me, I have some movies that I like a lot more than The Godfather. Third one was Airplane. I'm kind of, in some ways, not that I think this is a very impressive movie in terms of how quick the humor is, how many jokes they throw at you. That stuff is very, very impressive. And I kind of found though on rewatch, to me, it really lost its luster. And to me, those jokes, as good as they are, they're really quick jokes that you don't really have to think about that much. And the more you rewatch it, I find it's kind of meh. They came together. I don't remember much from this movie. All it was kind of like a pretty safe satire of sitcom movies, and it was like they didn't really address anything interesting. Like they only addressed the like, oh, New York is a city in itself, ha 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 ha. We're referencing that these people aren't good for each other, but the movie makes it seem like they're perfect, and it's like, okay, I don't know. It just seemed like any take that someone has had on rom-coms is like put into this movie. Has a very impressive cast. That's about it. They Live is fucking awesome. Was this a first? It might have been a first watch. I thought I've seen it before. But yeah, no, They Live is really good. I think it's a very simplistic way to like get someone into kind of maybe thinking for themselves or, kind of questioning more of society and society's norms. So I don't think it's, to me, the most in-depth movie on that topic. But I thought for what they did was really good. I thought the ending, that fight scene was crazy just for how long it was, but I didn't really like when they kind of went more. I guess they had to go in the science fiction realm, but I don't know. I wasn't too big on that. I did actually on New Year's Eve last year. I watched Apocalypse Now, and so that's why I watched the documentary. Documentary really good too. Juno, an amazing comedy. That was one. It was very highly rated for many years. Never got around to it, but yeah, great comedy. Has a dark subject matter, some great performances, and yeah, as much as you really like Patrick, not Patrick Bateman. That's American Psycho. Jason Bateman. It's like, yeah, he did a good job, but you're like, oh, he was just like kind of grooming her. Midnight in Paris, really, to me, 3.5 stars to me seems too fair now. Looking back, it's a very fucking meh as hell Woody Allen movie. I think this was actually the first Woody Allen movie I ever seen, so yeah, this is the first year I ever watched Woody Allen movies. An interesting year to pick that, start watching him. Commando, I don't remember much from this in terms of, like, to me it just was a really fun, high octane action movie, and it really didn't really go for anything, didn't swing for anything, and just overall was good. It took place in a mall at times. I remember Arnold was pretty cool in it, but yeah, it was like a really just easy to put on, 90 minutes in and out kind of thing. Boys Don't Cry. Boys Don't Cry was great. I thought this was probably the first great movie. I guess I watched The Godfather. I guess this was the first great movie I watched that year. But yeah, Boys Don't Cry, I think, is a movie that I'll keep coming back to. I really enjoyed the style of it. The subject matter was obviously very heartbreaking and important and interesting to see. And I've always kind of found, to me, especially like gay underground movies, be pre-modern times, I find very fascinating. Obviously, like, there's still that element still around, and obviously, like, it's pretty nuts how fucking insane Republicans are, and homophobic they are. But yeah, I think they're transphobic, true, definitely. Oh my god, definitely. But yeah, to me, it was a really good artsy movie that paid off well. I thought an amazing soundtrack as well. Blood Simple, fucking incredible director debut. Yeah, I thought that was executed perfectly. Time Bandits I really enjoyed. I was pretty taken back from Terry Gilliam, and I really enjoyed his movies, so getting to watch this one, to me, this was my review was basically like, I'm more upset that I didn't get to watch this as a kid, because it was really great. I think it would really resonated with me, not that it didn't now as an adult, but to me, I think it would have resonated a lot better if I was like a 12-year-old. Blue Jasmine, I thought this was an incredible movie. Yeah, I thought this is a trilogy of Woody Allen movies I was watching. But yeah, Blue Jasmine, to me, I would say my favorite of his. In terms of just, I thought it really took the story of, you know, that kind of a privileged, elitist woman who hasn't really had to do anything or work hard in her life and has a very ignorant view on how working class people actually live, and especially in New York, how they live. I thought it was really well done. And interesting, I thought too, also had a really good ensemble casting as well, as good as Cate Blanchett did in this movie. I also thought the people surrounding her also did a great job. Manhattan, I really enjoyed Manhattan. Creepy fucking subject matter. But yeah, it was a funny movie, but I don't know. Husbands and Wives too. It's like, again, it's the same thing. It's what everyone really says about Woody Allen. He kind of tells on himself in his movies, and yeah, it just seemed too close to home, especially if you know anything about his history, especially in the 90s. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, this was a big one of like a modern movie that everyone was telling me to go see, and I didn't watch yet, and I thought it was okay. To me, looking back, 4 stars to me seems a bit too fair, because I really don't know the next time I'll watch this movie. It just seems like, too, like the basis of the whole story was just reminiscing about old times, looking back at the past, and just basically wanting to go back there. And I don't really think that's, to me, the most uplifting. I'm not saying I want an uplifting message from it, but I don't know, it just seemed like the message is like, yeah, everything's shit now, so we'll just keep living in the past and pretending that's awesome. And that's basically what Quentin Tarantino is. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, I thought this was great. I thought this was an amazing, well done stop motion movie. Incredible animation. I thought it was also really interesting to throw the Pinocchio story in the midst of fascist Italy. Overall, really, really good movie. Real Pain, I reviewed this one. I really enjoyed this movie. One of my favorites of 2024. The Princess Bride. There will be actually a lot of Rob Reiner. Princess Bride is not my favorite of his movies. I think Rob Reiner is a great director. But The Princess Bride, to me, I liked it as a kid. I think to me, I've watched this alone, so maybe with someone it might have been more of a fun experience. There is some really fun characters, some great scenes in this movie. But overall, not really my favorite of Rob Reiner. Marriage Story, kind of, I'm a child of divorce, so, parts of this movie definitely really resonated with me. It goes back to Noah Baumbach's great ability to make divorce stories. But yeah, really good, really great performances. I waited too long to watch it. Below, good movie. I feel like I always kind of got that one mixed up with Lord of War, because I think I watched that similar times. But yeah, Grand Budapest Hotel, rewatch, one of my favorite movies, still great. I think this was when I just got the Blu-ray. I didn't own the Blu-ray for many years, so yeah, really good movie. Same thing with Big Lebowski. Was this with friends? I believe this might have been when I showed my friend the 4K copy. Love fucking Big Lebowski. The Dude Abides. Matt and Mara, this was a Canadian indie movie. This one I watched at Tivoli Cinema, and I don't know. It was, to me, the best thing I could say is it's vague. It's a vague movie. I really didn't know what they were trying to get at. I didn't really know what the point of this movie was. It was like somewhat a cheating story about kind of like how like your spouse sometimes doesn't really always emotionally fulfill you. I don't really know. It was, to me, it was okay. Really, 3.5 stars. I was being really kind to that movie because I don't know if I would give it 3.5 stars, considering I don't remember anything from it. The Social Network, another one of those like annual rewatches. Love the movie. The Last Waltz, my favorite concert film. 5 stars. I think I did a review for this movie and for Blue Velvet and for Eraserhead. I did like a 3-movie streak of reviewing them. But yeah, you can see my videos if you want my opinion on that. That was a short film by David Lynch that they showed. There was a great, after he passed away, R.I.P. David Lynch. They actually did a showing of some of his short movies, short movies, or short films. I don't know, short movies feels weird. Short films is like the right term, it feels. But yeah, that was really, really disturbing and kind of what you would think for like a thesis college film from David Lynch. Annie Hall, actually, this one probably is closer to my favorite. I guess I would say I would put Annie Hall closer to my favorite Woody Allen comedy. I think, to me, that one works the best. Elephant Man. Also, to me, not a movie that I think I loved as much as other people love it. I do think it's a great movie, but I don't really put it up there as much as other people do. I thought it was definitely really well done, and definitely very heartbreaking for sure. Santa Sangre. This was when I bought the Severin box set. Also, I have a video on that if you want to see more of my thoughts. Love that movie. My second favorite from Jodorowsky. Fear and Desire. How the fuck did what I'm realizing right now is I'm really friendly to movies. 3 stars. So I don't know how the fuck I got 3 stars out of that movie. I would give that movie like 1.5 maybe. Fear and Desire is one of Stanley Kubrick's earliest movies. I have it on Blu-ray. I got a deal. It was for a deal, so I don't remember how much I exactly paid for it. Maybe $10, $15. Yeah, it's definitely shows. It definitely shows a lot of his. I remember the camera movement wasn't bad for the time. The editing style was pretty efficient for that era of film, and definitely quite technologically impressive. But yeah, if you're looking for any good performance, I'm pretty sure Tab Hunter's in this movie. So John Waters, legend, of course. The Panic at Needle Park. This one was good. This is, I believe, one of Pacino's first movies, if I'm not mistaken. A really heartbreaking movie about heroin addiction in the 1970s in New York. Really good. I love, this was one of my favorite, forget everything you've ever seen, The World of Santa Sangre. This was one of my favorites in terms of like behind the scenes documentaries. Just really goes into Jodorowsky's mind and imagination and art, and just some hilarious moments in that movie, in that like documentary. The Last Showgirl, this was also my favorite of last year. To me, I thought it did a great job. I gave it 5 stars. 5 stars seems a bit too nice now, looking back, but to me it's a minimum 4-star movie. Maybe I'm tincturing on maybe saying 4.5. But yeah, I thought this was incredible, especially Pamela Anderson, the performance that she put in, especially at the end. I thought, to me, that's what really probably gave me the 5 stars, was at the very end, was when, I don't want to spoil it, but her expression of heartbreak and disappointment and reality was, to me, really cut through, and I was tearing up from it. So I think it was a really well done movie. 5 stars seems a bit too nice. WALL-E, love WALL-E. WALL-E's a great movie. To me, it's probably one of the last great movies from Pixar or Disney, arguably. Yeah, really good movie. Basically tells us exactly where humanity's headed. The Thing, also, I think this was the first watch of The Thing. But I believe I watched this movie twice this year. I love The Thing. The Thing is really fucking good. Just an excellently well done movie. There's some interesting interpretations that you can take from it. Maybe it kind of has like an anti-capitalist message, that maybe The Thing is capitalism and greed taking over and invading every aspect of our lives, but who knows. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, another rewatch, one of my favorite animated movies, my favorite Spider-Man movie by far. Yeah, 4.5 stars, that's very fair. Dave Chappelle's Block Party, maybe you would say now Dave Chappelle goes to Saudi Arabia to have a block party, I don't know. But this is really good. As much as Dave Chappelle has become a coward and a hack, this was actually a really fun movie. It has some legendary performances from like early Kanye, Mos Def, some of that really great late 90s, early 2000s rap. Like conscious rap, I guess I could say. Not really saying like crunk or anything like that. It's just really well done. Some hilarious stuff from Dave Chappelle. It goes into, at the time, I don't know, I think now he's probably living in Saudi Arabia, but at the time, I think when he was living in Cincinnati, and he would like chat with all like the neighbors and stuff. I thought it was just really good. Harold and Maude rewatched, love this movie. I kind of get more out of it the more I rewatch it, and yeah. It came from Baltimore. This is the featurette on Crybaby. Also a really good featurette. To me, not as good as the Jodorowsky one, but 4 stars. Polyester. This is when I actually showed my friends Polyester for the first time, and they also really enjoyed it too. Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing was great. That was a big movie that I haven't seen, and I got to watch it in the theater. It was a great 4K print of it. And yeah, I really liked it. To me, the biggest thing that was dated from it was just basically, I don't remember the character's name, but the character who had the stutter and was like mentally disabled. I just thought it just completely brought the movie to a halt. The jokes were not funny. It was the most dated aspect of the whole movie, and really took it down for me in terms of that. But the rest of it was great. Like literally, if you cut out that guy, I don't remember his name's Dewey or something like that. Cut out his scenes. I think it'd be great. Like the joke is that he really likes black leaders and figures. I don't know. Just Last Detail rewatch, loved it. El Mariachi. I don't know what it is. I don't speak Spanish, but I know the word, but I always like screw it up. But no, I thought this was a great movie. Made a little bit. I did an editorial on it, I guess, if you would say that. But yeah, no, I love that movie. Really good. Makes sense why it was big indie artsy hit of the 90s. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. This is recommended on a random podcast. I thought this was shit. I also made a video on that. I thought it was super exploitative. Had nothing interesting to say about serial killers. Had fine acting. The only thing I really enjoyed, Michael Rooker, but the rest was absolute shit. Paying for. This was I think I also made a review of this. It was a Canadian indie movie. Really good. Not great, but overall pretty good. And I'm kind of interested now to read the comic. I don't know. Dear Kelly, my favorite documentary of last year. To me, really, I guess it came out in 2024, but it was, to me, just was hilarious and heartbreaking in the best way possible. Short Bus. Short Bus is a really fun movie. Really fun comedy. Also has some interesting stuff on kind of like finding yourself, you know, on where you are in the universe, accepting your sexuality. I thought it was a really good movie. Tropic Thunder. I'm shocked I gave it 3 stars. Fuck this movie. I think actually I watched this on my birthday, if I can remember it right. And I remember not liking it. I got it on Blu-ray. It sucks. It's a very dated comedy, and I'm sick of people acting like it's not. People act like this is fucking comedy gold. This is up there with other modern comedies like Superbad and Step Brothers, you know, mainstream comedies that people love. And I'm like, this fucking sucked. It's so dated. I swear to God, how many TiVo jokes is there in this fucking movie? How many TiVo jokes? I just generally didn't get it. I don't really find Ben Stiller that funny of a comedic voice or as a comedic performer. So that's my hot take. Ratatouille. Oh God, I fucking love Ratatouille. Amazing movie. The end of the tour. I know a lot of people do say this is a very pretentious movie, and you could also say that. You could kind of say that about David Foster Wallace in general. But this movie didn't really do him that well. But I still thought it was fine. It definitely, to me, did get out some of those ideas and, you know, opinions that he's had or thoughts on the world that he had. But, like, it to me, the best stuff was when they were just directly quoting him. And I don't know. Jesse Eisenberg, to me, also, it really didn't work in that movie. Just like most of the movies he's in. The Monkey. This was a movie I fucking forgot I watched this year. I didn't realize I watched this movie this year because it was so fucking bad. Who the fuck wants this type of horror movie? It's not funny. It's not interestingly shot. It's not interestingly gory or makeup. It's just boring as shit and unfunny and thinks it's hilarious. I hated this movie. I couldn't wait for it to be done. And it was sucked too because I was watching with some buddies and we were just hoping for a stupid, hilarious or, you know, entertaining horror movie, and this was the opposite. Angels with Dirty Faces is a great old movie. Came out in 1938. It's almost, I guess, almost getting there to 100 years. Still got 12s to go, so 88 years old. But yeah, this is just a really good movie. Has some great character acting. Has a good story. I don't really remember it terribly well, but I remember this is really good. And it has to kind of do with, you know, troubled teens in the 30s and, you know, getting into gangs and everything like that and mafia. When Harry Met Sally, you know, R.I.P. Rob Reiner. This is a movie that connected a lot more with me. I thought it was absolutely great, and actually, I won't be able to say it at the end because I did rewatch it now with the new relationship that I'm in, and she loved it too. So it was a great movie that I got to share with someone and have that kind of great connection. That was actually 2 days before he was tragically taken from us and his wife as well. And so yeah, I thought when Harry Met Sally, incredible movie, and probably my favorite Billy Crystal movie. And Meg Ryan was also great in that movie. And Carrie Fisher. Chuck a Buck. Maybe I'm too mean on this movie because I think I'd actually be nicer on this movie now. I think I might give it 3.5. Very uncomfortable movie. In my opinion, one of the worst shot movies I've ever seen in LA. And it's because, obviously, I'm not saying that. I think it was purposeful because it obviously was like an indie, low-budget movie. I'm pretty sure it might have been, was it a school product? I don't know. But what Mike White is able to do in this movie is one of the best performances. Truly, I don't think I've ever been more uncomfortable or embarrassed watching a movie, and that's really what this movie is trying to do. So it does actually achieve in its goals. Once, great musical. It was also my top. It came up for my yearly. I have YouTube Premium. So it came out my yearly recap. I love this story. I love this musical. I love the soundtrack to it. Goon: The Last of the Enforcers. It's okay. Also, I thought this was the first Goon movie, and I was confused for half of it. Slacker, really good movie, but not great. It's definitely a debut movie, I would say. But I think I like that he was able to establish the style pretty early. And I think Richard Linklater has a lot better movies about this kind of subject matter that he's into. The Strangers, half this movie worked for me because I was like home alone and I was kind of paranoid a bit, and it kind of worked. And then the second half, I was like terribly bored. Slapshot, probably the best hockey movie. Nothing you can do about it. You gotta love it. Paul Newman, of course. It's one of the few movies that to me really brought in the essence of hockey in a movie. Then it's also able to, I think, accurately portray hockey on screen. And Goon is close. Goon is very close, but I definitely would go Slapshot just for more of that classic feel. Has a lot better comedy actors in it than Goon does. The only thing also, Jay Baruchel, why the hell did you ruin yourself in that movie? He wrote himself as this totally unlikable dick, dated character that no one likes, and I don't know why he did that to himself. Some kind of wonderful, very below average John Hughes movie. I didn't like it. The Long Goodbye, one of my first Altman movies, I believe. I really liked it. Although, from what I've heard about this movie, and I'm not terribly too familiar with the noir genre, but a lot of people say that it's actually better if you're more familiar with it, because it's a very meta movie on those kind of meta commentary on those kind of movies. So I've heard you can enjoy it a little more if you do that. Deliverance, the pig scene, The Graduate. I also really like The Graduate. And yeah, Forbidden Fruits, that's kind of how I'd say it. Also one of the worst fucking movies I watched last year, Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Oh, dude! Kevin Smith! Just stop casting your daughter, dude. Seriously, she's not going to be an actress, and if she is, let her be an actress without you writing her. Please. Caligula, for my 69th movie of the year, I did watch Caligula. It was pretty good. You know, there's definitely some stuff in it, but it was good. Also, probably actually my favorite. But I say this is more of a Larry David movie to me than a Woody Allen movie. The only Woody Allen aspect of this movie is the creepy fucking relationship. The fact that he's somehow able to land like a 21-year-old or 20-year-old from the South. That was the worst part of that whole movie, and why maybe I could give it 4 stars. I gave it 4.5. But no, I love Larry David's sense of humor. I love his outlook on the world. It's just very, very funny and always something that interests me. So I think this is really good especially if you like. This almost feels kind of like a Curb movie if there ever was one. McCabe and Miss Miller, really good Altman movie as well. To me, it feels the most like a Red Dead Redemption movie in my opinion. Game Night, also a very well directed comedy. Underrated too. Came out about 7 years ago, but I think it seems to be getting the love that it deserves. Jackass the movie. This was actually when I went to go see Steve-O live, which I don't think I'll ever do again, but I did watch him live. And I want to rewatch the Jackass movies. I love the Jackass movies. I'm actually with someone in a relationship who also loves the Jackass movie, and it's a great connection that we have, and always fun to talk and watch the different stuff with it. Crazy Love. This is a really weird movie. This is essentially one of the few Bukowski movies, or I don't remember his exact. He definitely wasn't involved in this movie production-wise. But I do believe the writer had said he was inspired based off some of his short stories. But yeah, some really disturbing subject matter. And I won't forget the day that I watched this movie, it like really affected my mood. Like I remember I watched it in the morning and I felt like shit, depressed, like so awful for the rest of the day. So yeah, this was I would maybe give it closer to 4 stars in terms of just the impact that it made. And I don't know, but I don't really want to watch it again. To be honest, Tombstone's great. To me, it's a really fun 90s Western, well edited, well acted. R.I.P. to Val Kilmer. Jackass 3D, my favorite of the trilogy. Son of the Mask. This is actually a really fun time. I was coming off a shrooms high. And I watched it with some buddies with the volume off. So there was no volume on, but we were just talking over the whole movie, trying to figure out whatever they were trying to explain at the moment. It's so fucking insane and just on acid. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, great movie. We watched this with buddies. We all had a great laugh. Rocky Horror Picture Show, first time watch as well. Really, really, really good. One of the best musicals in my opinion, and one of my favorites. What else can you say? Tim Curry. My favorite character though is Riff Raff. I love Riff Raff. Hell or High Water, really good modern western movie. Not, I wouldn't say it blew me away. I know a lot of people really highly rate this movie, but yeah, it's like a really good like cat and mouse chase type movie. On the Waterfront, I believe this is when I showed my mom this movie, and I love this movie. You can't go wrong with this is a Ezra Kazan movie. Also, what's his name at the height of his powers, and I think actually too when I was watching, or no, that's the other time I watched it. The first time I watched it was while the longshore fishermen were on strike. But yeah, to me, you can't go wrong with Brando, unless you have to work with him. Hacksaw Ridge, really fucking overrated. Hacksaw Ridge, I got the fucking 4K too. I got it for a good price. It was like less than $10. But I don't know. People love this movie. He got nominated for tons of awards. Andrew is okay in it. Like, I don't think he was. To me, not my favorite Andrew Garfield movie. And I don't know. I thought it was building up for obviously the action. That's disturbingly why most people like war movies, is so they can watch real life events get recreated of people dying and getting massacred. But no, it's a fucking dad movie that really has no quality to it. Kids, a disturbingly real movie. And to me, what I was also really disturbed was by when I like looked at the director and I was like, what other movies has he made? All he makes is young teens that are having sex and doing drugs. Well, maybe check on him. The Doom Generation, this is when I first got introduced to Gregor Araki, and that is probably, to me, what I will say, go down, and when I go into my other video, the biggest impact of my movie watching was getting into his movies. And yeah, the Doom Generation and Nowhere, loved them to death. Did I not give them love? I should give them love, because I love it. I also have the Criterion trilogy of it, so I'm really happy with that. This is when I got to go watch Revenge of the Sith back in theaters. Loved it. The only thing that pissed me the fuck off was the speaker system was obviously going. You could hear like the crackling whenever there was like high impact. So that kind of really took me out of the third act and the kind of intensity of it. Private Parts. I love Howard Stern's movie. Probably third time watching it. It's just so good. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. This was also, I think I might have seen parts of it before, and this was the first time I really sat down and watched it. I love this movie. Easily one of the best edited movies of all time. Drive, really good. Detroit Rock City makes me nostalgic for a time that I never got to live through. And that's, to me, the best thing I could say for it. I think it's a really fun coming-of-age comedy. It's also what I would say, for whatever reason, I've had this sick fascination with Kiss, but not enough to listen to their music. I really don't like much of their music, like maybe 2 or 3, and it's like, if that, I don't really like listening to them. But I always like everything around Kiss culture and the impact that Kiss kind of made culturally, because they definitely did. If you look at most metal bands and rock bands that came out in the 90s and 2000s, and even still to this day, a lot of them will cite Kiss as one of their biggest influences. So can't take that away from it. Reservoir Dogs, really good. I would say that or Jackie Brown would be my favorite now Tarantino movie. To me, this was the first rewatch in a while. And yeah, I think this could be actually a really good play as well. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, this was a childhood movie I was scared to go back to. As a child, this was like a non-stop playthrough. I was constantly watching this movie, and going back to it, I still think it actually did hold up. I like the more atmospheric, Tim Burton-y, emo edge to it, like gothic style to it. And Johnny Depp obviously had nowhere's close the impact as the original, but I enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the music on it. I think, to me, the music is better than the first one. Other than In a World of Your Own Imagination, really, what does this movie have to offer? Are you going to tell me the Charlie Bucket Mom song is better than Augustus Gloop. Augustus Gloop. Get out of here. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I love this movie. Oh, it's really good. I think I watched them back to back. I watched this one to see who would be biased. I do think this is a slightly better movie, but I think there's parts of both that I really loved. And I don't know. Maybe that's an unpopular. I know people hate this movie, but I still think that there's also pacing problems in this movie compared to this movie, which I don't think has that. Barton Fink, one of the best of the Coen brothers. Loved this movie. Rewatched it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, really good movie. Shane Black. I was shocked at how much I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, but no, Robert Downey Jr. to me better role. I think he's better in this role than he is as Iron Man, and that's pretty high praise. And Val Kilmer, of course, is great. Unforgiven. Fuck yeah, what a great movie. Watched this on a Sunday with my friend, had a few beers. It was a great time. The Bad News Bears, one of those movies they don't make nowadays. Where can you have a Walter Matthau just be drinking around kids, Also, borderline pimping a kid at one point, too. But yeah, what's her name? Tatum O'Neal. She does a great job in this movie. What a great actress as a kid. The Holy Mountain, rewatched. Absolutely loved it. Might have been when I showed someone. Don't remember. The Chungking Express, if I'm saying that right, Chungking Express, was okay. To me, it's not my favorite. I actually liked In the Mood for Love a lot more, but this was definitely a promising movie. But also, to me, I found this very vague, I would say. Birdemic. Oh, what a great time. This is actually the Riff Raff. The Riff Tracks viewing of it, but yeah, I love Birdemic. Actually, I watched this with a friend too. It was really fun. And then I put on the Best Worst Movie. This is a really good documentary. I don't really think Troll 2 is the worst movie of all time, but this is a really just documentary about kind of like really what connected with me the most was just like I live in a small town. I live in a small province, so I really kind of could relate a lot with some of these, these kooky, weird people, which I kind of think I put myself a little bit into that category. Maybe not as kooky or as weird as these guys are, but, kind of, wanting to express yourself and really not being able to in a small town. And also the director was so funny in this movie. He seemed like an absolute dickhead, though, but man, was he funny in this movie. Jackie Brown. Yeah, I think this is the best Tarantino movie. Up in Smoke, this is one of those cliched stoner movies that I was like, I don't know if I want to see it. I don't really find stoner humor that funny, but I actually can't hate on this movie. This is a great time, a great '70s movie. The only thing I found disappointing was I didn't like the scene where I love the scene where they're like, hey man, we're parked, and they think they're going everywhere, and then the police are like, what are you doing? Parked up on here, and then they have to ingest a bunch of all their product, and he's like, that's the most LSD I ever seen a man take, and then they go to jail. But I was hoping that it was gonna be like a 10-minute scene, maybe 5-minute scene of them being all fucked up in prison, which I think would be hilarious, but sadly it was not in the movie. Smiley Face, really good. Greg Arake, this is probably my favorite. I gave it only 4 stars, but I would say this is that or Pineapple Express. I would really put Smiley Face as one of my favorite, and definitely one of the most quality stoner comedies. This was so fucking good. This was a movie I was scared to watch for so long, and right now we are living in it, and it was not what I was looking forward to. And it's one of those movies I was dreading going into it, but yeah, it really blew me away. The performances in it from Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson. It's one of the most impressive voice acting roles that she did in there. It to me it really it's able to demonstrate, I think, the dystopia that we're heading into, and not in a very exaggerated wartime way, but even just how we're losing true connection with people and losing what it even means to be in a relationship or to be with someone. What does that really mean? Everything Everywhere is All at Once. I really enjoyed this. I remember this was a big movie when it came out now almost 4 years ago. But yeah, it wasn't It wasn't one at the time I wasn't really terribly interested in it. I was just getting so sick of like multiverse movies and everything. But this does it well. This movie does it really well. Has a great editing style to it. Has some good acting in it. And to me, just really creative. And just one of those movies. Totally fucked up. Really good Gregg Araki movie. This is when I think he really. So his movies before that, to me, they're rough to kind of get through. They're very amateurish. This is when, to me, he was fully, or was able to show to the world the talent that he has. Roadhouse, love this movie. I actually have a script for a video I want to make about the Bukowskian and communist elements of this movie, and hopefully someday I'll get around to that. Where the Buffalo Roam, this is kind of, I had a Hunter S. Thompson phase not phase, but like at times I find I have many artists I love, and at times where I'm a lot more interested in getting to know more of their work. But yeah, it's good. I'd say I was surprised at how well Bill Murray did in this movie. And I didn't really hear anything about this. This is really in the shadows of Fear and Loathing. And also it tells a different story, which I like. But I think it struggles in the quality that Fear and Loathing did. But my favorite scene for sure was him meeting Nixon in the bathroom, and he said, "What do you have to say about the Doomed?" Fucked the Doomed. I thought that was cool. For no good reason, this is a Ralph Steadman documentary. Really a great way to introduce a lot more to his work. I was always familiar with his style, obviously his relationship with Hunter S. Thompson. Also, I got to read the Kentucky Story this year too. Really, really good artist. Makes some interesting stuff. There's kind of like, to me, like a trilogy of just like fucked up artists that I absolutely love. It's like Ralph Steadman, Robert Crumb, who we'll get into later, and Bukowski. And then also too, this is actually he made this cover with Nail and I, was really, really good. Really great comedy. And kind of has some interesting things maybe to kind of, I think I kind of want to rewatch it, but kind of has some stuff to say about kind of like that pretentious liberal art, selfishness. Ghost World, I love this movie, man. Why the hell can't Terry Ziegloff make more movies? This was so good. Hoffa, good. It's a Danny DeVito movie. I think it's really epic in scope. It's one of those movies that they don't really make, definitely not anymore, in the way that they did it. Like, to me, that was the thing I was the most impressed with, were these, like, amazing, huge scenes with, like, hundreds of extras. Like, it is really, to me, this really shows how skilled of a director DeVito is. In terms of storytelling, not as good. Like, there's definitely, to me, really slow parts of this movie where I was, like, getting quite bored. But yeah, I love Hoffa. Crybaby made a video about this. The Banshees of Inisherin, one of my favorites that I watched this year, and I'm disappointed I didn't get to see it when it came out. But yeah, currently right now, my favorite of this decade. 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Oh my God, he is so good. I don't know how he keeps making all these great movies. Mark McDonagh, yeah. He's incredible. He's also like a playwright, and you can really kind of, I think that's really what shows at how good his movies are, because they're visually stunning. They have great stories to them, very compelling intensity and stakes to the stories. But also, I think what he really nails is how well he's able to get through human emotion. And I think that's probably from his more playwright days. Mysterious Skin, I think this is Gregg Araki's best movie. Really hard one to get through. Very tragic subject matter, but also really good. This, to me, was one I feel like all these like true crime documentaries are just kind of getting so average for me. Obviously, the story is crazy and terrible, and I think documentaries like this, I would hope, would lead to more regulation on family bloggers and people that use their children to pay rent and then also destroy that child's internet footprint. Kaboom! This is probably my least favorite of Gregg Araki's movies that I've seen. It's just, I don't know. the main actor did not do a good job. I thought the story was very weak. The setting was pretty weak, and definitely the ending felt super rushed, super out of nowhere. That didn't work. The Living End, also really good, promising movie, but I would say also the last of his like amateurish style that he had. True Romance, really good movie, really well written. This is Canada Day. You gotta watch Strange Brew on Canada Day. One of my favorite comedies, my favorite Canadian movie. Take off, eh? Goodfellas, have to watch for Goodfellas. Love fucking Goodfellas, incredible movie. Look at having all these great a great run I was going on here. This is when I showed my friend Paths of Glory, my favorite anti-war film ever made. There Will Be Blood. This was a first time watch. Fucking incredible. Fuck you, Quentin Tarantino, for what you said about Paul Dano. Fuck you! You'll never be able to do anything like that. F1. This is also a new movie that came out this year. Fine. It was fine. I don't know if I'll go. I might go 3.5 or 3 stars now. I don't really think I would ever rewatch this movie or want to own it on Blu-ray or anything like that. To me, it was just a one and done, watching the cinema. But the thing I was hoping the speakers were louder, because I really want to feel the like intensity. Django Unchained, first time watching, was one of those big Tarantino movies I didn't see. Really liked it. The Deer Hunter, this one was good. It wasn't as much as I thought I was gonna like it. I did like its brutal depiction of people and families and young families, especially during the Vietnam War. And it's an interesting way that wedding scene feels like it's like 3 hours long, but it does actually do a really good job of showing these characters. Obviously, John Cazale, R.I.P. Magic Mike, this is good. I said eye candy the movie, so take it what you will. In the Mood for Love, one of the best romantic movies of all time. Tree of Life, I couldn't actually rate this movie because I was like, I don't know how to rate this movie. It's one of the most unique movies I've ever seen. First Malick movie I've seen, and you'll see later in the list, I got to watch Days of Heaven. Seven Psychopaths, another Martin McDonagh movie, also really, really good. This to me seems like a better written Tarantino movie, which, for some people that's a crazy thing to say, but I love the characters in this movie. I absolutely loved also too, what's his name? Tom Waits' character, how weird he was and how interesting his story was, and obviously one of my favorite from Christopher Walken too. Christopher Walken is so good in this movie. A Face in the Crowd, also an Ezra Kazan movie that I want to see for a while. Was recommended to me for a while. Really fucking good. Not much you could really say. The only thing I really add to this movie, just great. And Andy Griffin is great in it. And I think it really still is a very real movie about the issues that we kind of face today, where people come from tragic backgrounds, and they really had a hard hand in life, and they've found a way to have an audience and a voice, and they just use it to enrich themselves and enrich other rich people. And it's quite disgusting, but it's a very real thing. The Odd Couple, I watched this one with my mom. This is a fun comedy. This is a really, to me, straight comedy in the way that it's not very offensive. It's not very shocking or anything like that, but just really funny. Has some funny characters. Has some great acting in it. I think the guy who voiced Winnie the Pooh for a long time, he's in it. He does a great job. I really like this, and also too, my roommate ended up moving out, and kind of some parts of this I kind of felt, and I'm definitely more on the Jack Lemmon end of things. Dogtooth, really good movie. I know some people don't like this movie, kind of rubbed them the wrong way, but I thought, to me, what I took the most of this movie was, to me, it helped me understand more of who I believe Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are, and who they are as a couple. Mad Max 2. This is a very interesting movie in terms of the villain's outfit. I'll just say that. Shallow Grave. This is a really good. This is a movie before Trainspotting, and also really good. 28 Days Later is okay to me. I think also too, a lot of people do say it, but it's comparatively this film. Obviously, digital does not hold or preserve as well, especially early digital film. Does not. There is some impressive stuff like how guerrilla this movie was made, guerrilla style filmmaking, but I don't know. I'm not really. I'm not interested in zombies. I don't find zombies interesting at all. Weapons. I fucking love Weapons. This when I go into my favorite of the year, obviously people highly praise this movie. It worked for me. I've met my girlfriend actually doesn't like this movie at all, but I really liked it. 500 Days of Summer, it's okay. You know, it makes sense why Mark Webb for a moment seemingly had a moment, and then they're like, yeah, we'll give you the Spider-Man movies that everyone hates. Or some like kids are like, well, I grew up with it, so it's actually good. But yeah, he's not a very likable character. He seems very flawed, and he seemed like the reason he's single is that. I don't know. Boogie Nights, love Boogie Nights. Love Boogie Nights. Paul Thomas Anderson never misses. Man, I don't know. I haven't seen all of his movies, so I've heard some interesting stuff. Mallrats, I believe this is actually Mallrats and Clerks. I watched both of these in one night. Showed to one of my good friends, and he really enjoyed them. Never saw them before, so I always love showing people these movies. I think he enjoyed Clerks more than Mallrats, but I enjoy Mallrats more than Clerks. But I think Clerks was more important than Mallrats. Now we're gonna get. This is when we finally reached. I guess this was the end of the summer, and that's when I start watching my horror movies. So. This my goal this year was to watch all the Halloween movies. So I do have actually a video I've canned that I gotta edit and everything. I'm gonna wait till next season to release it because I waited too long. But yeah, no, Halloween is a really fun franchise, and I'm glad I got to watch all of them. And you can kind of see my ratings through here. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre is also one of my favorite horror movies. It's arguably, I think it's, because I don't remember if I watched the original Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre first. I believe it was Texas, so I think it always holds a special place in my heart. Really disturbing, really well done, and great style to it. And yeah, some more horror movies. Fuck this movie. Fucking hate you, Rob Zombie. You suck. Child's Play. Love Child's Play. Actually, a very confidently done horror movie that you wouldn't really think would be. The first one I'm talking about. The Exorcist. Huge horror movie that I never saw. Fucking loved it. Fucking loved it. It was great. Lost Boys. Lost Boys, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated movies of all time. I thought I was going to like this movie. Everyone talks about how great it is, you know, how it's so 80s, it's such a good cast, and it's Joel Schumacher's like only good movie or great movie. I think it's terribly acted, terribly written, totally dated. I guess it's essentially Twilight for the 80s for people, and it seems like it's quite obvious who they're trying to, the demographics were, because it seemed for me, what I understood it was they had like the tweens, the big tweens of the time that like the little girls loved, or you know maybe some little boys loved too, and those were for them, and then there's like the older actors, like the adults, for the teens to young adults, and I was like, I don't know. To me, that's all it seemed like it was for. I didn't like it at all. And I'm ready for this is part 2, right? Yeah. Part 2 is good. It's the one everyone says it's like the gay one, which is to me probably the most interesting part of it. I liked when he crashed the party, but yeah, it was kind of bad. Child's Play 2 sucked. It's so fucking bad. It's so bad. I don't know. It's such a drop in quality compared to the first one, which is actually decently written, has a confident direction behind it, but this one sucks. My Bloody Valentine. Love this movie. It also holds a special place in my heart for the fact it was filmed in the Maritimes. Saw. I loved this movie as a kid, and now the older I'm getting, I found I'm getting more and more less interested in this franchise. Freaks is a really good movie. Nearly 100 years old. One of the most fascinating movies, and castings and characters. It tells a good story, I think, at the end of the day. Nightmare Before Christmas, really great stop motion animation. The Learning Tree, actually I watched this way earlier in the year and I just rated it. I forgot it wasn't on the list, so I want to make sure I was accurate. Learning Tree is good, but not super memorable, I would say. But a very important movie. Bloodfest, very important movie. Really good too. Good in the sense of like it's very fun. It's very entertaining. It's not a great movie. Don't get me wrong. Paranorman. I never actually saw this movie till this year. I think I've seen half of it, and like my Blu-ray didn't work or something. I didn't finish it, but finally finished it. Really great movie, and also deals well, I think, with like childhood trauma, and has great stop motion animation. Great movie. The Blob, a great 50s movie. Steve McQueen, just so much stuff you can't go wrong with. I would love to go to a Blob Fest someday. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, really, really fun. Didn't think it was going to be as enjoyable as it was, but it actually was quite fun. Barfly, love this movie. Bukowski, if only you could have written more movies, but still love that movie. Frisk, really interesting movie, based off the works of Dennis Cooper, who is not a very well-known writer and poet, but he has some really disturbing, interesting writings. And this movie, I don't think didn't really execute it greatly. There were some parts that I think they did really. It's a very cheap, immature-ish movie, but also parts I think were great. But yeah, I feel like I would go more 2.5 stars. Cabin, I didn't like this movie. I don't know. People talk about how great it was of a satire, and it was making some great commentary on horror movies, and I didn't think it was. I think it was making the commentaries that everyone was making. And I guess to me the most interesting thing was kind of being like, we got to move on from like, the same tropes, crazy man in the woods, zombies, all that stuff. Yeah. But you can also try to make a good movie in the meantime. This is, I don't know, people love this one too. People say this is like the most for entertaining, like funny sequels. Nah. Multi-Maniacs, really good John Waters movies. It was the last one I haven't seen of his theatrical length movies, so I want to see it. Fright Night was actually really good zombie movie. Way better, werewolf movie, way better than vampires. Way better vampire movie than Lost Boys. Under Siege, great movie for different reasons. It's a complete ripoff of Die Hard. Steven Seagal sucks in this movie, but is hilarious. It's also Gary Busey steals the fucking show. Yeah, really good movie. Good Boys fucking sucks. Holy hell, does that movie suck? I couldn't even get through like 20 minutes of it. I had to turn it off. I hated it. And then I had to wash the taste out of my mouth and watch Superbad, which was great. Shame is also really good. This is the director, Steve McQueen. Incredible stuff. Really, to me, deals well with the idea, with the emotion of shame, like no other movie. The Devil Wears Prada. I was surprised. This was one of the most surprising movies of the year. I thought it'd be like, okay, this is not as good as people claim to be. I thought it was very fun. Very funny, has some good characters in it, some great performances in it. Really good. This is a new movie. Good. I think an interesting take on the biopic. I like that it goes a lot more into the inspiration behind his art, which I always like. To me, that's like my favorite part of any biopic. Basket Case. This is I bought Something Weird video DVD release of this movie, so I was like, I gotta watch it. Really fun movie. Stupid, but also great. Has some great characters in it. A Dirty Shame. Want to show my girlfriend this movie because she's a big Johnny Knoxville fan, and it's a good John Waters comedy. But I wish he kind of went out on a better bang. Pun intended, I guess. Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. This is actually really good. I remember seeing it as a kid, and I think a lot of the jokes either went over my head or I didn't really pay attention to them closely enough to it. But it's a really fun movie. But obviously not to me as good as. But some really hilarious moments. I think that's why I gave it so high star. Watermelon Man. This is a very interesting movie. Very interesting satire, I think, and it was because I had the Melvin Van Peebles box set. The Congress, really good movie. I think the struggle that I had with it stayed way too long in that animation realm, but had some really good commentary about modern times and AI and self-pleasure and entertainment. Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. Exploitation movie, really dated elements to it, some really disturbing elements to it that, I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch that movie ever again. I've heard his son's movie about the making of the movie is interesting, so hopefully that'll be good. Bo Burnham Make Happy, love this movie, or like special, I guess. Bo Burnham, I don't think he ever misses. Planes, Trains, and Automobile. First time watching this movie, never saw it. Always heard some crazy things about it, and yeah, it was really, really good. And yeah, John Candy is really good in it. Probably to me the most I'll ever like Steve Martin in a movie. This is Spinal Tap. This was before too, sadly. R.I.P. I love this movie. Really, really funny mockumentary. Essentially invented that style of mockumentary. Some great jokes in it. Some great stupid humor in it. Really good movie. Crazy Love. This is a really weird, insane documentary about, and I love, to me too, probably my favorite thing is I love when old people are more honest about their youth and don't just like hide it and pretend that they're perfectly innocent children. And that's what I would say about it. Code 3. This is one of the easily the most shocking movie of this year that I watched. Love this movie. I think it really does, and from the accuracy of someone who I know who is in EMS, that is very accurate movie to the struggles and to the hardships and also the benefits and the things that people love about the job. I think it did a great job. Days of Heaven blew me away. Great Malick movie. Has like a biblical epicness to it. Before Sunrise, one of my favorite romantic movies. My girlfriend didn't like it as much. Zootopia 2. I really liked Zootopia 2. It was a good sequel. I think there was parts I didn't like. I didn't like that they keep going back with the like most obvious fucking twist endings with the guy who suddenly turns, but on that it was good. Zack and Mary Make a Porno. I really, really like this movie. I think this is Kevin Smith's last great movie. Dead Poets Society. Really, really good movie. This was like obviously one of those big movies that everyone talks about, and it's like one of those, indie darling or letterbox darlings. And I was like, I don't know if I like it as much as I did. I loved it as much as everyone does. Tangerine. Watched this for a Christmas movie. Not a typical Christmas movie, but really impressive work. Sean Baker did a great job, and especially looked really good for an iPhone movie. Fargo. I convinced my girlfriend this was a Christmas movie. There's white and there's red in it, so Christmas. American Splendor introduced me to Harvey Pekar, and I really like him. He seems to me like a good mix of Larry David and Bukowski. Crumb. This documentary blew me the fuck away. 3.5 stars. I think I would put way more, because since I've watched this movie, I can't stop thinking about him. I can't stop thinking about this documentary, and I'm waiting on a book to Fritz the Cat book, so I can finally read some Crumb and see what it's really all about. But yeah, this movie really, really blew me away, and man, I wish Zigloff made more movies. And this was post death, and yeah. R.I.P. It was really sad to watch too. There was only actually one scene that was really hard to watch now in retrospect. But I really liked it, and I liked, to me, Rob Reiner being a lot more part of the movie compared to the first one. And there's some hilarious jokes. I love that the bassist ended up opening a glue museum. Just so, but it was like, it was a great comedy sequel that relied obviously on the first one, but didn't do it to a point where it made the new one bad. Fritz the Cat, really, really good movie. Very, I guess what you would say, I don't know, transgressive, I guess you could maybe say. And finally, for the last one, movie I want to get way more into, One Battle After Another, which I think is the film of the year. And that is, I know it's been a long one, I'm getting tired just talking about them, but that has been my list of favorite movies, or favorite movies I've watched in 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.